Hello. Once again, welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for being here. Once again, we are here to, learn new things or old stuff that has been kept away from us. So, um, Sahona. Okay, so today we're gonna be looking at a different kind of topic. Um, so basically, we're gonna be checking or doing comparison between the LuYah's burial versus the people today in Palestine. So we want to see there are some similarities, but we want to know or find out who copied who, okay? Because somebody stole these things from someone. It's either we copy them or they copied us because our custom is not is much ancient than the biblical or the coming of the missionaries. So where did he get this stuff from? Okay, yeah, and we know most of our custom or the Bantu custom or just let me just pinpoint the Luhya. Yeah, they are they're unique because they are unique in the essence in the sense that we have tribes around us, like the I don't want to mention the name. The people who are around us. Most of them they don't have these things, especially when you go back to the area they came from. Like if you go back to Sudan, you go back to Ethiopia, or pre-Christian Ethiopia, pre-Islam Ethiopia, pre-Christianity and Muslim Sudan, pre-whatever Somali go these people they were not they didn't bury the dead. They used to smear blood on the cups and then feed them to the hyenas. So where did we get this thing from? I know Europeans will, especially the Muzungus who came or who were in Egypt, the so-called Egyptologists, the archaeologists like Richard Leakey and the others, they will love for us to remain silent so they can say this thing came down. They were introduced to us by the Nilotes, or they came down with the Tutsi. When Tutsi even themselves, they didn't bury the dead. They used to throw the dead to the bush. Go to Ethiopia, ancient Ethiopia, throw body to the bush. So where did he get these things from? Okay, the pygmies, the Khoisan, they used to throw the dead bodies or the bush and leave that area for good. Yeah. So I know the Muzungu didn't like when they find this thing on us. So that's will be my topic today. So today, modern Palestine, we have these guys there, and they do what is called Tahara. Okay, and they say it's an ancient culture uh, for them since Abraham. But we know they say that those who have been that have studied them, it began in Budapest, somewhere in Budapest or Hungary. I don't know, Hungary. That's where they started this thing. So who taught them this Tahara? Okay, because you'll discover this is like somebody introduced this culture to them when they're in that place called Budapest or Hungary. So that's when they started it before going to other European countries and finally to America, before leaving America and Britain and Germany and coming to Palestine. It started in that country. But for us, Luhya, we've been doing it for generation and generation, handed from father to son, son, like that for many, many years. So where did you get this thing from? And don't tell me the Nile or Kushite, whatever, these people never buried the dead. We know it for a fact they didn't. Even if they tell you anything, we know Mzungu have been giving them that kind of superiority imagination. And they think they used to do this thing, but it is a lie. They never buried the dead. It's a fact. There's no debate about it. These people never buried the dead. Okay? Don't believe them. They are always lying. Okay? There's nothing these people can tell you. Okay? So where did this thing come? How did they learn this thing? Okay? So now I was checking these websites, but you can go to Google and type in Tahara. You will see it says custom, whatever these people custom, where the burial stuff they do some certain things and before burying somebody. So one of this website, but I mean this it's a book actually. Um, by it's called Jewish Budapest Monument Rights History. So down here it says it basically talks about the Tahara. It says it is a customary to put a piece of a broken pot they call shabalak, and maybe a little earth or dust on the eyes and eyes and the mouth of the deceased. So where did they learn this thing from? Okay, because as we continue to discover, this is the custom of the Luhya, and this is one of the things that the missionaries who came to Luhya land, they were trying to delete. They were there to delete this type of stuff so that eventually Luhya cannot come back and say or claim this is our thing. Okay, so they were deleting all evidence, but thanks to some books, you can piece this together and find the truth. Okay, so the customary of burying somebody and then placing a broken pot, where did they learn this thing from? Okay, so let's continue. So this is now a book by Wagner Gunther, and I promise we'll look at Wagner Gunther in depth. We want to find out who this guy was, who sent him, and why he did a lot of stuff in Maragoli, Zimbabwe, and Kamba people of Kenya. Why he targeted this group? Okay, so you will see. Eventually, we will find out like why he was very specific in what he was doing, who he was, his background, his profile, and everything. Okay. So the Logoli custom. So we want to look at how the Logoli used to do it, and this is not just Logoli. All other Luhya are involved in this, but now we just want to focus on Logoli. So this is volume 1 of his book titled Bantu of Kavirondo. So let's check what he said. See, according to a custom, this is now what somebody telling him. According to a custom of long ago, the following things were done when a leading person, Umundumudi Kiru, was very ill and near to die. His eldest son, together with his little father, i.e. the younger brother of the sick person, must go and build a small hut at the fireplace, okay, near the house in which the father is lying ill. The little hut then waits until he has died, and at the same time he has been defeated by the illness and died. It is not good that any person may wail, not even at a distance. They must all tell one another to remain silent. When these people have received the death message, they may come, but they must not come to the house of the deceased. They all must listen only at the fireplace, near the house of the dead man. Now, when the father, i.e. the clan head, has finished dying, he must first be put on the skin in the house in which he has died. Then his son and his little brother must go into the small hut which they have built, and dig the grave near the center pole of that small hut. After the digging is finished, all people, even the dead man's wives, that's a very important, wives, because Maragoli or Luhya people used to, I mean, it was part of our culture. We had to inherit wives, okay? And this is another thing, they were beating people to stop it. And when you read the book of Leviticus, it's called Leviticus or what? The book of, or Exodus, or the book of Moses, Exodus, whether it's Exodus, Levi, or whatever, these people were supposed to inherit wives. So all the Luhya people, especially Maragol, we were treated so bad by the Christian missionary because of this, and we will talk about that in another series. So he says, even if the dead man's wives and children, except his great wife, his brother, and his eldest son, must remain there. Then they must take the corpse and put it into the grave they have dug inside the little hut which they have built in the fireplace near his homestead. The reason why they do so is that they do not want any person who is still young to see the corpse. Okay, this is an old tradition. So basically, I wanted to talk about the putting the broken pot. So we'll get there. We'll get to that point. Okay. So now the Luhya burial. Say when the sun is near to set, they must call the eldest grandson and they must give him the dead man cooking pot, Nyambeva. Now you see they have a name. Today, this according to UNESCO, they say the pottery came down with the Nilots, the Tutsi, the Luo, the Hima, the Nyamulengo brought. These are the children of the white from north. Okay, they came down with knowledge and civilized the Negro, the primitive Negroid. But you see, they don't even have names. Ask them the names for different type of pots. They don't have. Yeah, but you find Professor Got, yeah, akiongea when the way he talks with a lot of pride and lying. Yeah, we brought this thing to the Bantus. Yeah, and anyway, I don't want to get into that. So anyway, UNESCO. Anyway, it's a jambeva in which they used to cook the fall. And if you read the Bible, you see they used to cook fall in a pot. Then his grandson must go with the pot to the fireplace. Later, he must live there with the pot and wait until he reaches the dead man's house. When he has arrived there, he must break the neck of the pot. While he's there, he gives permission to everybody to wail. Before he breaks the pot, nobody may wail. When the neck of the pot has been broken off, they must take the oliju, the pot minus its neck of that pot, and place it over the dead man's head. You see? So, like I've said, who copied who? Because this is oldest custom of the Luhya. The Luhya used to bury people with pots. But a priest, here they call him, I don't know, like they try to call him somebody elder or whatever. Not an elder. Yeah, he was the priest. Priest is supposed to, you have to, and actually, long time ago, they used to bury him in a cave. But we will talk about that in a different series. Even Maragoli was buried in a cave. Okay, but later on began to bury the new customary. Okay, so the dead man's head, all these things are done before they fill up the grave with soil. When the grandson has finished doing so, they can throw the earth on him, i.e. the corpse. And then you can read the rest of the story. They say like, and later they must plant trees on the grave, and they must be emigumu and emivitu trees only. When these things have been done, all people must blow calabash, bagos, I don't know what is bagos, and horns, and play on the lyre and flutes. This will tell the people that a person has died who was a person of power. Okay? Now you can go on and read the rest of the story. But as you can see, the use of broken pots, this has been the custom of especially the Maragoli. Because other Luhya they used pot, but they didn't break it. The other one, the Maragoli, specifically the Maragoli, they will break. Yeah, and each clan or each group, I call them Inzu. We are not, the word Luhya is wrong. Each Inzu, okay, or Omuriango or Kiriango, which each clan have a different meaning. For a chief, they had their own way of burial. For different elder, they call it, sometimes they call council, or the elderly, they call forgot the name. So each of these people or each clan, they had their way of burial. But this one specifically, the breaking of the pot, yeah, only the Maragoli, and it symbolized something, priests. Okay. Now, when you go back to the pre-Axumite, there have been a lot of studies and excavation in Ethiopia. But to this day, and I know the guy who has been doing it, he came from US, one of the states, I think is Maryland. And this guy has done a lot of excavation, research and everything. But to this day, he has never come out and said or mentioned who are the pre-Axumites. Okay, he just say they were pre-Axumite. The pre-Axumite meaning the modern people you see, or the people you see today in Axum, they are not the original people who built the Lalibela and everything. These are like later on. There were like three groups that occupied Axum or Ethiopia. The first one, I don't know how they can call it, but they were the pre-Axumite and post-Axumite, and there, yeah. So the current people, they have compared the DNA, and it shows that the modern people are not connected, they're not related to the pre-Axumite, especially the barriers. Okay, now the Mzungu, because they discovered that, and I'm sure, because look at the way these people used to bury broken what? You see the broken pots, and these broken pots, they have been followed or tracked down from Axum all the way along the Nile to Uganda, to Kivu, to Western Kenya. Okay, and because of that, they don't want to reveal anything. They just hide it. Do you know why they hide it? So they wait for you. Now, first thing the Mzungu does is insult these things. They say, oh, these were witches. Okay, they use the Luo and the Tutsi to do this. They say, oh, these were witches. So once they insult this culture, you will be scared to attach it to you. So you will not even want to go and do your own research. So they attack it, they attack it, they attack the culture. And then after some years, they will come back and say, you know what, these were Mzungu. These were Americans. The Americans were they were the pre-Axumite, the Europeans. We began to argue, but that will be long gone. You can't even find any evidence. So that's what they do. How they did in Egypt. They were attacking Egypt. They say, oh, Egypt is, Pharaoh, evil, criminals, whatever. And then after they did a lot of discoveries and discover how these people were great, they knew ancient Egyptians were great people long time ago, but they are attacking it. They were used to call it evil. But you see now today, they say ancient Egyptian, American. Americans tell you, oh, we're the ancient Egyptian. Only American, not even Britain, not Germans, not France. Only Americans. They tell you, oh, we're ancient Egyptians. Yeah. We came from Egypt to New York. We just left Egypt to New York. Okay. That's what they do. So the first thing is attack culture, insult it, use the Luo, Hima, Tutsi, Nyamulengo to attack this, and then they attack themselves. And then you see the Luo, Hima will never say anything. They will just look at you and be laughing or insult you and they will, that's what they do. That's what they do using UNESCO. Okay? You say, these are not Africans. These are Mzungu. Yeah. You see the Luo, the Hima, they're not saying anything. Completely silent. Yeah? So when Bantu raise their head and want to say something, then no, you are witches, you can't do anything. So you wonder why the Lus and Tutsi, they want to shut down the Bantus, but they don't want to talk about their own culture, who they are. They just tell you are great people. We found empires. Which empires? Okay, if you found empires, this is your own story. Keep it to yourself. Why do you tell us? Keep your story to yourself. Don't interfere with their history. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so most Africans don't understand, especially people from Zimbabwe and South Africa. They don't understand. They think the disconnect we are just the problem is that Africa, we are not united. That's the only thing that is missing. They don't understand what is going on in Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya. Nobody even understand the kind of hell that is going on here. Okay, we are fighting a very difficult problem. We have a very big situation. These people are snitching. They are writing lies. Yeah, and they are attacking our culture. Yeah, it's not Africa is not failing because we don't have unity or we're not working together. It's everything is falling apart because we have people who are working against the Bantus, and these are the Tutsi, the Hima, Nyamulengo, and the Luo. Yeah, you can add the Fulani there. These are the people, they work for UNESCO day and night to write lies. Okay, and until the Bantus wake up and realize what is going on, there's no way out. I'm telling you. So anyway, let's continue. So the pre-Axumites, like I said, the pre-Axumites, yeah, you see the way they used to bury the dead with pots. So to this day, we have never been told who the pre-Axumites were. And you can see another thing. You see the pots, these burial pots disappear from Axum and Yeha and Lalibela and Matara. Matara is a Kisian Luhya or Maragoli name. The Matara, Kitara. We find these names here in the Great Lakes. So these cultures disappear in Axum, reappear Meroe, Nubia, disappear there, then reappear Soba, disappear, reappear Nubia, disappear, then reappear Nyala, Sudan, then again disappear, reappear Sena, disappear, reappear Uganda. No, first Nubia or Nubi Mountain, that's border Uganda and Sudan. Then reappear again Uganda, Tunsi is somewhere in Uganda. there are so many burials, these similar burials in Uganda, then disappear, reappear at what they call the Mfungamano Island or Thimlechoinga. Then they spread all the way to Kivu. Another branch goes all the way to Zimbabwe. So through Zambia and Malawi. So the Mzungu are saying this is Nilotic culture without any evidence, because you don't find this in Sudan, but you find it in LuYah's, you find it from Central Africa, you find it all the way from Axum. Just come from Axum and at least some part of Yemen. It goes down. And the Mzungu will never say it. They don't want people to find out this thing. Especially the pre-Axum, they will never. But some Eritreans will tell you, they know. They will tell you some of the names that we found here. They are not our names. These are different culture. They know, but they, the Ethiopians, oh my God. Especially the Amhara, just like Luo and Tutsi. So, like I said, the Funj disappeared, then the Luo reappear in the Great Lakes. Okay, just like the name Sena disappear up there, then reappear around the Lake Victoria, where the Maragoli, the Suba, the Kisi, and the other Luhya were before they were being kicked out by the Luo. Sena or Masana. That's what the original name for Shona, Masana. So it used to be Masana. Okay. So this, like I've said, in Tusi, even the Makuria or the Amara, sometimes I call the Amara, which mean the king people or the Negus, the people, because most people don't understand the culture of the Luo and the Ethiopian and the Somalis and these people, even the ancient Egyptian, Kushite, whatever. It was feudal. They didn't have kings, but they lie. They just, I don't know why they lie like that. So these people, they never had like a real king. Okay. King began with the Luhya people going all the way to West Africa. Those are the only people who had real kings with authority. Start with King Nabongo Mumia, going all the way to Ghana. And then Congo, Zimbabwe, South Africa. This is where you found real kings with authority. Like in Luhya land, we have history of kings of the Wanga. It can be traced, like the lineage and the burials and the names can be traced back like I don't know how many generations. We have like over 6 graves of different kings before Mumia. They are all in Mumias. So they show this was not just like a Mzungu king, the way you say a paramount chief. This is a lineage of kings. Yeah. One king, another king after him. Yeah. And with all the authority, with the military and police and everything. But the place was used to be called the Mulemba, which means the most peaceful people. Okay. So like I said, in Tutsi, you see in Makuria, they also did the same thing. And Makuria were the Christian. So they disappear over there, the Amara. Then the same burial reappear Uganda, Kenya, going to Kivu. The Manande people, going to Zambia, going all the way to Zimbabwe. So they don't want you people to find out this. Okay? So like I said, they don't want people to find out about the pre-Axumite. Yeah? This is a pre-Axumite culture. Yeah? They don't want you to find out about this stuff. So one thing they do, like I've said, one thing they do is they attack the culture. They call it witches. They keep snake. They offered human sacrifice. So the reason why they do this is to scare you. So because when you see stuff like this, oh no, I don't want to associate myself with this. This is like a gate. They build a gate between your brain and like between your brain and your conscious, like your desire to go and find out more about this. So once you see, offered human sacrifice, snakes, your mind feel like, no, I don't want to go into this. This cannot be my part of my people. But once you dig in and go deeper and deeper, you discover they are hiding stuff. They're hiding stuff. So if you give them time, especially these archaeologists from France, Germany, and the US, give them time, they will come back with information. Say, oh, finally, we have discovered who the ancient Egyptians or ancient Axumites were. Yeah, we even have the pictures. Yeah, they didn't have Negroid photo or nose. They had Caucasoid nose, blue eyes, and some who look like Luo and Hima and Tutsi. Yeah, not the Bantu, the primitive Bantu, not them. And then you start arguing the America, from New York, yeah, we migrated from Aksum to New York, and we left Aksum, then we went and settled in what's the other state in America, yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah? Distortion of history. So you have to be very keen and don't stop doing your research. Don't let their word and their stories and the interference scare you. Keep doing research. Okay, do research because you'll discover they're hiding a lot of information. You see, the Ethiopian, they're just like the modern Ethiopian, no, the modern Egyptian that you see, the modern Caucasoid Egyptian that you see today in Egypt. You see, they're not scared. They're not even Awashtuki, like when people say ancient Egyptians were, the Muzungu, like they're not scared about that. They're only scared when you say ancient Egyptians were Africans. Yeah, they're not scared when Mzungu steal their artifacts or artifacts from Egypt. They're not scared. They don't. In fact, they're the ones who take them to these tombs, tell them where to get this, whatever, the coffins and everything. Yeah, yeah, or sell them. They don't care because they know they don't belong to them. So once you African, you say, hey, okay, these things belong to Africa. Oh, now, yeah, hell break loose because they know these things don't belong to them. So they don't care whether you want to ban them, whether you want to throw them into Mediterranean. They don't care because it does not belong to them. So the same thing with the Ethiopian. When Mzungu said the pre-Axumite DNA and the burial and culture does not match them, they're not scared. They don't care. They know the pre-Axumite are not them. These people migrated from north. Some do their DNA, you see, connect them to India, yeah, Greece, Syria, or further north. They know very well, so they're not scared if whatever happens, they don't care. So in the Bible, Jeremiah, I had to use this because when they say the pre-Axumite, they use snakes or whatever they did like human sacrifice. Just wanted to show you that even in the Bible, Jeremiah was known for keeping snake, and this is very true. So in ancient Hadramaut and Sana'a in Yemen, it is well recorded. These are well recorded information that the Ark of the Covenant was hidden there, and one time it was discovered by called Jarhum tribe, which controlled part of northwestern Arabia, and in a seal cave where Jeremiah had hidden it, and they said they took the ark to Mecca. So Arabic sources indicate that the Jews in Yemen had the Ark of the Covenant in their possession, and they used it against their enemies on their peninsula. Perfect. Record that the wide belief in the Wadi Hadramaut that the Ark had been hidden in a seal cave, perhaps in Wadi Hadramaut itself. Lions and snakes protected the secret of the place. However, another tradition in Yemen supports the belief that centuries ago a group of Jews left Yemen for Africa but did not return. So, like I've said, there's enough evidence of people especially Jeremiah. Jeremiah was a Levite. Some people say he's tribe of Benjamin, but he was a Levite, and the Ark of the Covenant was kept by the Levites. So it was not just him. There were a group of people who kept this, and it is believed they had snakes and lions that used to protect them. Or if anybody tried to steal the whatever, you'll be bitten by the snake. So this culture of the snake protecting the Levites or protecting the artifacts, it's a very ancient story or whatever. It is known because it happened in Yemen, like here, like you're reading. Axum or Medina also, because Medina was founded by the Diners and Levites. That actually means Medina comes from Medine. The word Medine comes from Medina. Medina means Dini. Those who understand Swahili, Dini, like Dini, Medina. Okay, the Levites and tribe of Dan were there. They found the city of Medina, and then after some time they were lost or scattered. Yeah, these are long story, and then they disappeared. After some time, they appeared in Axum, and these are the people. They stayed in Axum for a very long time. They found the city of Axum, the original people of Axum, and then we know there's another group that followed them, decided to enslave them from Axum. Then they decided to move to Meroe and Nubia, and that's why King Ezana went to attack them and stole the books called the Suba books. Okay, and that's where you get the Ge'ez. These Ge'ez books and all the other languages, they were distorted. We will talk about it another time. How the books, the GE's books, were translated from Suba to Greek, Septuagint, the Aramaic, all these books, the Arabic, they were all distorted from Suba. And that's why today in Israel, this country, current Israel, Palestine, there's a city of David. They call it Suba, and they know King David, did not speak any language called Hebrew or whatever, or language called Judah. He spoke Suba, which was the language of Noah, okay, which is one of the oldest languages. It had the secrets since Adam. It was called Suba. It was one of the most important languages. Even Moses spoke Suba. Moses didn't speak Hebrew. Moses spoke Suba. And the Suba language, they know, even when you when you speak to especially the Oromo people, they will tell you, one of the oldest languages is Suba, but it just disappeared in Kenya. We don't know how it disappeared. So when you come to Kenya, especially the Luhya people, they will tell you our ancestor, the Kintu, they broke from the Suba people, and then we were being followed by the Luo. That's been a very big issue between Bukusu and Maragoli. Say, why are you guys working with the Luo? But the Luo just invaded us. Okay, we will go into that later on. So King Ezana, like I've said, King Ezana is the one who attacked Meroe and Nubia. And he attacked Nubia because he wanted to get Suba. And then eventually Menelik, is the one who translate all the books from Suba to GE's and other languages. So that's why you find a lot of Syrians, Greeks, and many people coming to, even including the people from Mongols, they're coming to Aksum to get information about ancient history of the Hebrews. Okay, came from these people. The current Ethiopians, not all of them, but the people from Northwest, the so-called Amharas or the whatever you want to call them. So they know the source of their information about the ancient Hebrew came from books called Suba, and they know the Suba people were beaten and chased by the Funj, and then the Funj disappeared, and then Luori appears around the Lake Victoria, and they're attacking another people who claim, even the Kishis will tell you about Suba, the Kuria, Suba. The Suba people tell you Suba, but they don't know anything. They don't know about the entire story, the whole story. Okay. And like I've said, the tribe of Dan and even Reuben, their logo, or what do you call emblem, was a snake, Iriri. Okay. This was their logo, and it's known. Even you go to the in Palestine, you see when they talk in the Levites, when they're speaking, they have this logo behind them. Okay, they know. But when you tell this to especially Christians, no, this is witchcraft. Oh, this is witchcraft. Yeah, they don't understand this stuff. Okay, so pottery in the Bible, even ancient Egyptian, you find those when the so-called Imhotep, or I don't know, I can't remember the name, the one they called Joseph. When there was a drought, he told them about the god of the Nile from the south, or from the mountain of the moon, Khnum, the god of the pottery, the god who created the first man. So this pottery thing is very, very important. When you read the Bible, the Levites, the Levi, or the Malawi people, they used to offer sacrifices on pot. Read the Bible, you'll see. And they were told to clean it every time they offer, especially the fall or whatever, especially cooked. There's a way they used to. We will talk about it. Ndani kabisa vizuri, tunapitia juju, okay? So you see, my point is, pottery was very important, very instrumental in the ancient culture, okay? So now let's go back to the corpse, especially the Luhya. So here again, still on Wagner Gunther book, you see, the foregoing account of the traditional burial rites among the Nyole tallies almost completely with the account given to me among the Logoli, Soso, and Bugusu. The comparison of the naked corpse in the grave with a child when it comes from his mother womb was rendered in exactly the same words by my Logoli and my Bugusu informant, and it seemed therefore to imply more than a mere circumlocution for the state of complete nakedness. It's significant in this connection that a newborn infant, a person who has recently died, in the who had just been circumcised are all omusinde, and that they must all be completely naked. So basically, when people are being buried, they're supposed to be buried naked, and you'll see. I wish I could, Ningeka could have, added some books here to show you how the calamities began to fall. I mean, to occur in Maragoli land, because the elderly people warned Maragoli not to accept the coffins. Okay, but the Maragoli, especially a guy called Mogune, didn't listen, and you are beating people, say you have to accept coffin. Because say no, we cannot accept coffin. You're supposed to be buried naked. Yeah, don't use coffin, don't use clothes on people who are buried. Don't put cross. This is very wrong. And this guy was, and then some Maragoli decided to, accept. So those who accepted because they want to look civilized, the calamities began to. So in another book, you'll see the Maragoli began to be called the widows of Maragoli, because at some point, a lot of Maragoli men were dying. Okay, men were dying like all over. It was so. There's a book called the Widows of Maragoli, and we also talk about how they call there's another thing. We'll talk about it when I have time. I'll compile a whole presentation about how the calamities and how UNESCO and WHO has been monitoring the Maragoli people, like from being one of the most populated community in East and Central Africa to how they're being depopulated. They're being reduced to numbers, and they call it what they call plan, how they call the population planning, whatever, family planning. Yeah, they say now Maragoli are doing very good because they're reducing in numbers. Yeah, there's a whole. I would do a whole. They say now Maragoli are not even getting babies. They're doing very well. They're reducing in numbers. Okay, and you wonder, how do you celebrate when people are reducing in numbers? Well, how helpful is it to you or to them, like when you are reducing in numbers? You see. So in another series, I will present this information, because say all these calamities can be traced back to when Maragoli accepted to bury their dead using coffins. And this is when the missionary came and they were beating people to accept. Also, they were forcing people to go to hospital for circumcision. Maragoli were, people were fighting or trying to, but it was not possible. Okay. Then the government came in. Because they created the government, the new fake government, or the new fake country called Kenya, and then this country was, the police and whatever forced Maragoli and other Luhya to accept these cultures, especially the use of coffin and everything, and the calamities and the curses and whatever. Yeah, were beating the Maragoli like nothing else. So in the Bible, you find the book of Ecclesiastes 5:14 says, "As a man comes from the mother's womb, so he will depart again, naked as he arrived. It takes nothing to his labor. It takes nothing for his labor to carry in his hand." So, like you've seen, in the Bible also it supports this the LuYah's way of thinking, that somebody has to be buried naked the same way alizaliwa. Okay, you're supposed to go the same way you came. You're not supposed to be buried in a vehicle or in a whatever, like anything. Just naked the way you came, the same way you go. Okay. So why did those missionaries force Maragoli to accept the coffin? And now there's a lot of things that are going on in Maragoli land. Okay. So many problems. Yeah. So like I said, I wish I could compile. I mean, I will do it later on. I mean, in a different series, I will try to come up with these in a presentation, especially about the Moguni and many others, those who are first convert and forcing Maragoli to accept this. So, example here, missionary coffins and the calamities. So it says, sadly, misfortune struck Amogene when in a period of about 7 years, he lost 3 children in infancy, and yet he still refused to offer sacrifice. Maragoli converts and non-converts alike believe that his misfortune were the consequence of his radical belief. For instance, his mother believed that Amogene children died because his ancestors were angry with him for breaking the taboos. She became convinced that the only way uh, any of the Magona children were going to survive was for him to offer sacrifice to the. It was, you see, they say the ancestors. It was not ancestor, because what's the name of the ancestor? Okay, children to the fact that he had been circumcised at the hospital. You see, at the hospital, and not at the river where his blood was expected to blend with the soil and strengthen his. Okay, the condition of the circumcision, the Maragoli believe rendered him whatever. Okay. So others claim that Amugine children died because he had allowed the wife to eat chicken and eggs, another custom. I mean, they call the mila. There's a reason why they didn't want women to eat eggs and chicken. And the more it was, this is now a medical reason. They believe women are not supposed to eat fatty stuff because the ovary is not supposed to accumulate a lot of fats. Okay, the story goes that this food left his wife home too weak to sustain healthy babies. Like Amugune Ahonya, and I suspect this name will be Anonya, but you know the way they corrupted the pronunciation, insisted on keeping the tenets of the practical Christianity at all costs, and he too refused to appease his ancestors. Which ancestors? With a sacrifice, even though he had lost his wife in childbirth and two of his children in infancy. Even worse to the disbelieving was the fact that he had buried his children in coffin, you see? Yeah. So this is how the calamities began to. Yeah. But they're saying the ancestors. Which ancestor? When they found Maragoli, they used to pray to Asai and Nyasai. But you know, they call Nyasai ancestor. So how can Nyasai be an ancestor? Yeah. When Nyasai is the name of God. So how can he be an ancestor again? But you see, for them to have you accept their thing, they have to attack whatever they found you. So they had to call it worship of the ancestor. Otherwise, there's no way people would accept their. Yeah, in a different series, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we go deep into that, why the missionaries came and many other reasons. Specifically, the Jesuits, the Portuguese, why they were sent, and they're missionaries because they had a mission. And what was their mission? Okay, so we'll talk about it. So you see, they accepted the coffin. They now stopped circumcision, doing it properly. And then the calamities befell all these people. So more misfortunes followed when Anya married again and lost his new wife in childbirth. This too was ascribed to his refusal to offer sacrifices. Okay, so you see, these misfortunes. It's not like they have ceased to occur. It is still happening to this day. Maragoli has seen a lot of problem. You can just single out Maragoli from other Luhya. Yeah, and the Bukus are they're crying, say, you people, why did you accept these things? Okay, but it's not like Maragoli wanted, but because it was the circumstance, they were fighting. The Luo were invading Maragoli, and it was all chaos. So by the time the missionary came, it was like a ceasefire, and Maragoli just accepted anything. Okay. So another thing I wanted to talk about is the word baingo and baingo, because we find the Hutu people, the Hutu of Rwanda and Burundi, they still use it properly. So it's baingo. Yeah, in Kenya it used to be like an insult. So they say you baingo, we feel like they are attacking us, so we dropped it. But we still use it baingo. But I didn't know the meaning, the deep meaning that it bears, especially among the Bahutu. So until today is when I discovered Baingo has a lot of meaning. So Baingo is and Bayinzu, it is the original word for the clans, okay, or the house. So we're supposed to say Omliango or Inzu. So these are just a different topic. So in ancient Congo, or like long time ago, when the Mohammedan used to come down from, actually it's not even the Arabs, it was the Somalis and the Tutsi who converted to Muslim, the Beja tribe, these people who, when they converted to Islam, their mission or their first jihad, or their first job to be certified proper Muslim was to go and get the Bantu slave. So they were they were told you have to go and get Baidu. So they didn't know Baidu, but I did some research and it comes from Bainzu, which means people of the house. Okay. So Congolese have been asking, these people used to come and say, we want Baidu. So when you check Baidu, it means people of the house. It's a Bantu word. It's actually, it's not even, but today UNESCO and the law, oh, Bayinzu is a, or Baidu or whatever, any word that is, it looks more Semitic and found in the Luhya land or the Bantus. Oh, it came from the Arabs. You know, the Arabs. Oh, it's when the Arabs came. But Uganda, was it the Ethiopian, the Somali, were just next door to Saudi Arabia. How many Arabic words do they have? Even the Luos, they used to live with the Arabs at Baar el Ghazal. How many Arabic words do they have, or do they, incorporate in their language? Was it only the Bantus who picked up these words and still use it? These are lie. You can't just pick up word over a few years and just adopt it over a very big area of continent of Africa, because you find Bana, say Bana. You go even further as Angola, deep. You find the word Bana. They say it's Bana. Okay, Bainzu. Luhya we use Bainzu. Yeah, which means the house, people of the house. Yeah, it comes from Bayit. And today you go to Palestine, they say Bayit. So who stole from who? Okay. They tell you, the Bantu, the Bantu just, when during the Islamic trade or Arabs trade, they adopted this word. But they don't, okay, you ask them, you Nilotic people, you still have Arabs in your country today in Sudan. How many Nilotic words do you have in your language? Zero. So it's only Bantu who can adopt words. Today we live with Luos. How many Luo words do we have in our language? Zero. But we adopted the Arabs. You see, that's a lie. So the reason is, if the Mzungu, especially the Mzungu that is Palestine, the Mzungu in Europe and the Mzungu in America, if they accept that Swahili and the Bantu language have some Semitic, then it will be a rap. It will be a rap. It will be like, there's no any other, no way, there's no discussion about it. There's a lot of Semitic words in Bantu languages, and they know it very well. They know, okay? That's why they use the Tutsi, Hima, the Fulani, the Luo to attack the Bantu. And whenever Bantu speak, it's only this group, they will come, they will raise their voice with insults. They say, hey, these witches, these witches can't do anything. These witches, no, they don't know these witches, witches, yeah. Fulani, the Luo, the Hima, the Tutsi, Nyamulengo. This group, and we have another one in Kenya, another group, they speak Bantu, but they're not Bantu. This group, watch them. Anytime you say anything about the Bantus, they're the one who go back to UNESCO and they write some lies there. And they're paid millions. I tell you, it's God. We are blessed. Snitching against Bantu. Okay. Like I said, Congo should be very careful about this thing called East African East African community. They want the minerals, especially now that people are trying to get the cobalt from Kivu. That's why they want Congo to be part of Kenya or be part of East Africa. They want to facilitate the Mzungus to come and steal from Kivu. And now we also have gold in Uganda. So these people, the Galas, the adapted Bantu languages, they want to ease access. Like, they don't know what to do with these minerals. These people are not farmers. Let me use Swahili here. Nilini mkulima analima na panga. Ukiangalia hizi kabila zinajiita Bantu leo, ukiona kabila analima na panga, wanakwambia hao ni farmers na wanalima na panga. These people are lying. Come on. If somebody tell you their forefathers were farmers and they didn't have any iron tool or steel tool to cultivate land, these are not ancient Bantu. These are people who migrated from somewhere and came down, and they are still manipulating Bantus. Okay, and there are so many out there, so many. When we talk about the DNA, we go deep into the DNA stuff, because that's a very interesting part. We'll examine the DNAs, and right now you see so many people don't want even to show their DNA like they used to do on YouTube, because especially from Kenya, the DNA is showing that majority of people that are in Kenya, they're not even Bantus. Yeah, only the Luhya. Luhya pure Bantu, and they know this for sure. So some people just right now they're very silent. They don't want to show their DNAs like they used to do because since last year their DNA has been shown they are not really Bantu. They're from Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia. They've been lying. Oh, we are the Bantus, and we're looking at them like, what? You Bantus with Caucasoid nose and protruding forehead and protruding teeth. How can you be Bantus? You're lying. Yeah, and we'll talk about the teeth, but even the name Canaanite teeth. We'll talk about it. Yeah, and how they used to force us to remove teeth. As the Luhya. Yeah, for you to stay with them, we had to remove the teeth. With some people here in Kenya. Okay, why did they force us to do that? Yeah, you know why there were people in ancient Israel called Canaanites. In the word canine, the teeth. Yeah, do you know the Natufian skull that were discovered? They say they were discovered in Israel, but that's not true. It was in Kenya, but it has been kept by the Rockefellers at the Rockefeller Museum. It is this guy, Richard Leakey, but they are lying. They say, oh, Natufian was a Caucasoid Somali Mzungu, yeah, he used to do teeth ablation. Oh, okay, so Somali, yeah, but Somali have never done the teeth ablation. The only people who still do it, Kenya. For us Luhya to stay in Kenya, you had to do it. To this day, some people are still doing it. Even the Suba, they have the books. They'll tell you, oh, for us to stay in Kenya, people used to force us to remove lower teeth and upper teeth. Today, we have Natufian. They say they used to remove teeth. And then the Mzungu, they say, oh, the Natufian used to remove the teeth, and the Natufian, they are Caucasoid. They look like people from Greece or North Africa. And we just accept because we are, tunadanganywa, we just accept. But once you do your own research, you discover these are all lies. Yeah, because this is called the Sirikwa culture. It is found in Kenya. Yeah. We talk about the 4,000 mummified hair that was discovered in Egypt that connects to the pastoralists that are found today in Kenya. Okay? 4,000 old hair, mummified hair found in Lower Egypt. Okay? It has been traced back to the Pokot, the Turkana, the Kalenjin, Maasai. Okay? So what was this hair doing in Egypt? They say, oh, and like I've said, it's the UNESCO and the Luo Tutsinima. They don't want you to know them. They want you to talk. They want everybody to discuss Bantu. They like it. They enjoy it when the whole light, like when you're in arena, like on your Ukojuko arena, you're speaking. The all light are flashing at you. That's what these people like. They want all the attachment, the Bantus and the Mzungu. So we are like, they like it when you're fighting and attacking each other, and then you're not asking, who are you guys? Who are you Tutsi? Who are you Hima? Who are you Nyamlengo? Who are you Luo? Luo, tell us, who are you? But once you begin to ask them, who are you guys? Become quarrel, become problem. Insult after insult. Say you're stupid. That's what they say. Oh, you're mjinga. You don't know what you're saying. That's what they do. They don't want to be questioned, but they want to question other people. Because they're hiding their own history. So once you get into the details, you will see. They tell, oh, we're ancient Mesopotamia. Oh, we found Mesopotamia. We're the people who built Egypt. You built, okay, when? And, but what are you doing? If you are the people from ancient Egypt, what are you doing with us here? How did you migrate? Why did you migrate? Why did you migrate with long arrows and, like military? Yeah. They say you are following the Nile. How do you follow the Nile River with the long arrows and big bows and big whatever? So another thing that I will discuss in detail is about the 40 days. Because when you read the book of Adam, Enoch, you see a lot of 40 days, 40 days, 40 days, 40 days. But you don't see it anywhere else in this world. You don't see the 40 days in where these people came from, Ukraine. You don't see 40 days in Ukraine or Russia or Germany where these people pass or live before they migrate to Palestine. You don't see it. We see in Luhya land, 40 days, 40 days, 40 days, then inheritance of wife. You don't see it anywhere. It's not there. And then it's just repeated among the Luhya. 40 days, oh, you mourn for 40 days, you mourn 40 days, you mourn 40 days. Yeah. And then we'll talk about one book that was stolen from Africa. by the Arabs. They call it the Book of Witches. Like I've said, they use scare tactics. The Book of Witches. Yeah, it talks about the 40 days. Okay, this book was stolen by these people, taken to Turkey. Yeah, you see, it has the black gods and the black. It talks about the black. Everything is black, black, black. But they call it witches, 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 witches. So they scare you, so you don't want to go deep and understand what this book are talking about. So you see again, mourning lasts for 40 days. Yeah, 40 days, 40 days, 40 days, 40 days. Yeah, see here the alcohol feast. When you go to Ethiopia, the Beta Israel or the so-called Falasha, you see they talk about they do the alcohol feast, and then it's called the Judaism. But when it's Luhya doing it, the witchcraft. Okay. When the Beta Israel, it's Judaism. When the Luhya do it, it's witchcraft. Then when other people are doing it, because you go to even today, these people in Palestine, they say we make a traditional alcohol from, I don't know, it's barley or wheat. They say they make one from barley, yeah, for certain days, and then they say, it's Judaism. But when the Luhya do it, this is witchcraft. So because it's done by black Negroid people, it's witchcraft. But when it's done by the Mzungu, this is Judaism, it's God. You see, double standard. So now also the wife inheritance. This was like the main reason, or the number 4 reason why the Mzungu, the missionary, came to Luhya land. Today they say, the only people who used to inherit wives are the Luo. But they forgot we have other Luo related groups in Tanzania and Uganda and Northern Sudan. They don't know anything about wife inheritance. But they will lie to you. It's the Luo who inherit wife. And the Luhya will be just there. They have no idea this is a lie. These people copied from you. The missionary deleted from it. This is now bad. It's a sin. Yeah, but they didn't tell the Luo to stop it. I will show you in a book when there's a guy who came to compare the culture of the Luhya and the Luhya and the Luo. He said everything was writing, and the Luo, they do this like Luhya, they do this like Kavirondo, they wear like Kavirondo, they cook like Kavirondo, they build house like Kavirondo, they till the land like Kavirondo. Everything copied from Kavirondo. Yeah. One thing, it's very easy to know who did what, who introduced what. The names, apart from the names, just double check the people, the tribes. If, for example, if Kalenjin say we are the founders and builders of this thing, it's very easy. Go to Tanzania, there's another related group of the Kalenjin in Tanzania. If they're doing that thing that the Kalenjins of Kenya are doing, then that culture belongs to them. Like today, I can't say the long distance runner are LuYah's. I'll be lying. Because we have the Kalenjins doing the same thing in Kenya, and you can match or you can compare. I mean, you can find the same Kalenjins doing long distance running in Uganda, okay? And their DNA connects them back to the people you see doing long distance running in Ethiopia. So you can't lie about that. But when you say, okay, we are the first people to make pots or pottery, then the same. I mean, the potteries like the Nyambeve, you don't even have a name for it. And then you have a group, your related group in Tanzania, like the Hehe, don't have an idea what is Nyambeve. They can't make a similar thing. And the ones the Mzungu found them with, they belong to the Maragoli or the Luhya people. But because, Mzungu anafight sana, waseme Negro was a primitive, because anajua mambo ya slavery, taki hiyo mambo, anajua li slave wa watu. So he has to maintain that the Bantus were primitive, and that's why wanatumia the Luo, the Hima, the Tutsi, and another tribe in Kenya to fight the Bantus, okay, and the Fulani. Yeah, that's why they're using these people to attack the culture of the Bantus. It's a big fight. There's a big war going on right now. So the Bantus needs to wake up and know what is happening. Yeah. So if you're kama hujaamka, you need to wake up and brace yourself, because the more these things are being exposed, the more these people are getting clever and clever. So they change their tactics. So don't expect them to say, we give up. No. It's gonna be get higher. When mukiinua one nini, wanainua miguu nao na mbili. So they have to make sure they put Bantus down. That's one thing they will never stop. They have to make sure the group that is the DNA is E1B1A, lazima wamguu yakelewa kichwa. They have to do it. Yeah, because ukiwainua waanguke, yeah, wataanguka tu, wataanguka kabisa. So for them to survive, for them to be who they are, for them to have the monetary system that they have today, yeah, the taxation system, the Bantus have to be put down. Because along the way you'll discover there's a way, there's a formula Mungu aliweka Bantu to do their things, and it was not through money, yeah, it was through barter trade, and that's the main fight that is going on around the world to this day, barter trade, because we're not supposed to use money for trade. So this system, the first system, the monetary system and the taxes, was established by the Ottoman. Okay, then the Ottoman was displaced by the British. Then the British gave power to Germans to America. So it's all about the money system. So the Bantus, as you see them today, wao ndo walipewa njia ingine na Mungu. They were given a different system, which all other nations don't want this. Yeah, but you discover even before this nation were here, the Bantus used to trade with the Chinese. There's enough evidence for that. Used to trade with the Arabs, with all these nations. Yeah, and people. That's why it says when the Bantus will be restored, there will be peace. How do you know? Oh, unajua, it's because the monetary system that we have today of the Bantus, yeah, which is barter trade, it has to come back in one or the other. The gold system, yeah, you have to measure things by gold standard. That is the Bantu way of trade or doing things. So if for that way to come back, it means all the other has to be deleted. So unafikiria mzungu ataachilia? And the Tutsi, the Hima, they are ready to fight the Bantu. So it's not something that we're gonna give up today or tomorrow. Yeah. So brace for yourself. They will do everything. They will do everything to maintain the oil system. We call the what they call the money, the oil, dollar oil. Then they change from oil dollar, they go to another one. Yeah. Before that, they had another system. It's all trade. It's all about trade. Just put Bantu out from the equation, because once you put Bantu out, you're removing the laws of God. Yeah. Because when you remove Bantu are the only people walipewa command ya venye the structure ya monetary trade inafaa kuwa the proper way. So you have to get them out so that people can steal from each other, they can overtax, they can fix prices, they can do whatever, give loans and all this stuff. Whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christianity, they are the same people. So for that, kila mtu be blessed and have a wonderful day.